Hey guys, it's Jade and welcome back. Today we're talking about The Expanse Season 5, Episode 3. Again, this is going to be a no recap. We're just going to react and talk about the episode as a whole. And I have a lot of opinions, I have a lot of feelings. I think that this season has started off to an amazing start. I mean, just kind of going to culminate like the first 3 episodes. They have all been so strong, right? And the one thing about this show I think is really funny is that everyone's always like a half step slow to like the big devious plot, like just a half step. And it's wild. Anyway, as I get into this, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let's talk about it. I really want to talk about it in the comments. Let's keep it up. And let's talk about The Expanse. So starting off, I think that I want to highlight the fact that Amos is not in this episode. What a shame, right? But he really had a lot of character growth and everything that we had to deal with in the last episode. In this episode, we're really just faced with a lot of interesting conundrums, starting with Alex, because Alex is kind of important at the end of the day. I am kind of annoyed by this man. He is so freaking gullible, it's not even funny. Like him and Bobbie trying to work together, I'm here for this, I really am. I like that, with this season, it's really switching up the dynamics that we normally wouldn't have gotten. However, this whole situation of like, oh no, I have to find out who's selling the self-tech to the Belters. And then Alex trying to date this girl or whatever the hell. I was like, I think, Alex, you're misreading what this is. This is a mission and you're making this a date. Dude, get it together. And then I'm pretty sure she sent them people after, she sent those 2 people after him to kill him or whatever after she left. Because it didn't make no dang sense. Shout out to Bobbie Draper being the badass that she is, because she came in and whooped that ass, and that's all we really have to say about Bobbie. She's really just been mean and really crouchy. I get it. She's had her career basically defiled. We've seen Bobbie at her heights and believing in the Mars dream, but to find out, it's all kind of a scam, and they threw her under the bus. Like, I guess disenfranchised Bobbie is kind of better for the better, because at least she knows, right? Drama. Everybody's storyline is basically connected a little bit, more or less. I honestly totally forgot that Marco killed Ashford. I know, you might be wondering, like, how do you forget that? I wasn't going to go back and watch that last episode, and when I watch a new season, I come straight in. I know more or less what's happening. I can figure it out from recaps. So, Marco killing Ashford, I'm remembering now more and more about that, and I'm just like, dang, that just really sucks. Because Ashford was really that man that, like, even though they fought left and right, she really grew to respect him and see him as a person that you can learn a lot from. And to some extent, I'm pretty sure she's obviously feeling some guilt because she didn't go along with him. And that's very apparent. Happily, though, they find that data and, like, it's able to, go to the appropriate people. It's just really sad, but I really do appreciate the fact that she's realizing that her own worth, her own life is not worth throwing away just to go get revenge, and that, she's allowed happiness. And I think that's kind of like a rocking theme that I think we're going to end up having for the next 2 seasons, right? That everyone's going to be working towards, like, how can we find peace in our lives? Because more or less everyone thinks peace is happening, but more people, it's not done. So we know that, like, Drummer obviously is like, yeah, this is not my fight. I have to stand her for that. I really do. Like, you have to put yourself first in some cases and, like, stop trying to fight for, like, this bigger cause and find happiness within yourself. I love that. After that, we had the whole Holden. Holden always in everybody's business. So Holden has to be there. Holden has to, find out the shipping container. Like, I personally don't care, to be honest, about Holden. Like, Holden is what Holden does, and we'll figure it out. But I think what's more interesting inside of that dynamic was really more of, like, the fact of how many factions are really inside the Belters. This really made me think about the fact that, yes, there's the 5 original factions and everything like that, but then there are, split in half, there's 2 sides of those 5 different factions. Because there are people that are, that pay homage, and, like, homage is not the right word, but that pay... There are people that basically, like, fall under the Marco account of things, and there's people who fall under the Fred Johnson things, and each of them kind of has their own particular right when it comes to belts of freedom, and it's really interesting to think about. I don't know. It's just really interesting to think about that there are some people out here who are just like, yeah, we're on the Marco side of things. Like even the fact that Naomi was on the Marco side of things. That's just interesting in its own right. But taking that back a little bit, you know, I don't know. I don't really know where that storyline's going to go. Hopefully it works out for them. I really don't care. I was really more, again, since the first episode, here for the rocks to crash on by. Which, before we even get onto Marco, let's just get into this whole thing of like Avasarala using all her plays to sit there and be like, you need to do this. You need to do this. I get it. I get where everyone else is coming from with Avasarala, right? Like, don't listen to her. Like, don't, right? But she's right. She's typically right. She has learned to listen. And again, she's really trying to stay in this fight because if she doesn't, who will? And I think what makes it even, oh my God, I just had a thought. Oh my God, what if Arjun dies? I think Arjun's probably gonna die because he's on Earth. Because that's not the first rock. That's the first of 9 rocks or like that, or 8 rocks left. So, oh my God. Yeah, that's wild. What if Arjun dies? And they die and like, they're not talking anymore. Like, oh my God, that would suck. But at the same time, Gal was not listening because she doesn't really see Avasarala's worth. She didn't know everything that Avasarala did. She didn't know everything that Avasarala knew. So Gal's working off of all the on paper situations, but there are things in Avasarala's mind that she just doesn't know. And Delgado is trying to help her and basically like, I'm gonna give up on her. And right in that moment, Fred Johnson sending in all of the the Ashford data, it's just like, oh, this sucks. This freaking sucks. Hopefully, during this time though, at least when that explosion happens, they're able to move the watchtowers in order to really protect the planet, right? You would hopefully think that after the first one. Because all I'm thinking is there's probably not going to be any travel outside of the planet, you know, up the well or anything like that. There's probably not going to be anything. People are going to be trapped on that planet, and I think it's just going to get more chaotic than anything else. Easily, it's going to get more chaotic. So Amos is trapped down there. He doesn't have to worry about anything. He's Amos. He's good. But Naomi is now basically being brought to Marco, and we know that for a fact. And the fact that, like, I'm pretty sure we all can pretty much guess, and I'm pretty sure she also said the reason why she ended up leaving even her son was because of Marco. Like, she didn't want to leave her son, but there's no way that Marco would have allowed her to take him with her. So she chose herself. And was that probably a selfish move? Possibly, but at the same time, Marco's a psychopath, right? So who are we to judge? So I'm just thinking now overall about like Marco. I'm thinking about the fact of that kind of got me started on the whole idea of like the factions and how it's kind of like an interesting dynamic on how Naomi really was on the side of like the Marco faction, but she moved into the OPA, and just thinking about early on that interesting conversation of like where Naomi stood early in the earlier seasons, and then to find out like no, she's a full-on Delta, she's a full-on OPA operative. So that's, I know I'm saying a lot of things that are interesting, but it is, I think they just call to question a lot of nuanced situations. I feel bad for Naomi, but I think if this is anything has proved this, that like the only people who are capable by themselves to the most extent is Amos and Holden. Naomi, then Alex, but mostly Amos and Holden, because how y'all both get beat up in the same episode? That's all I want to know. Like, how? Tell me how. That make no sense. Another thing I'm thinking of is that, you know, when they all met each other on that original freighter or wherever the hell they were, when Amos and Alex and all of them and the Rocinante and all that crap in the beginning, that was something to, like, they were all pretty much lost. They were all pretty much running away from their problems, trying to get away from the issues, trying to make money. They all had reasons, directed reasons for being on that. They all had directed reasons for being on that ship. And it's very obvious. So it's weird that experience kind of binded them together for them to become, you know, the universe's heroes. And I don't think I can really leave this episode out without being like, y'all just need to listen to these people when they say things. like their hunches are not really wrong. Granted, that's kind of like, why would you listen to them? But at the same time, like, why wouldn't you? What is the harm in listening to these people, right? I just don't get it. Like, y'all always a half a step behind. That's why y'all got shit happening to y'all. Another thing I started thinking about was the protomolecule and how someone's coming for it. And it's wild how sneaky and Marco has gotten his crew into OPA. Marco has embedded all his people in OPA. He got sleepers in there. And I think that is a storyline that will unfold later on. Again, I don't really care too much, but I kind of do. But anyway, that's pretty much my whole thing of the episode. I feel like I've said enough. What are your thoughts on the episode? What are your thoughts on the season so far? Is there anything you would like to see going forward? Is there anything you don't want to see? Because I can tell you, I want drama to have a good life. I want people to be happy for once. But I feel like we're not even going to address the bigger issue of the aliens. Who knows? Maybe we will. But it seems like we're getting down to that drastic change. That landscape is changing. It's just going to change. Anyway, that's been my video. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe. I will see y'all next video. Yeah. Bye.